there we go. All right, so we're going to go through the process of creating the temperature converter program. As time goes on, I'm going to have less and less help like this. And you'll have to create it more and more on your own. But at the beginning, we want to go and get a established process that each time you work on a program, you can use the same steps. That's what a process is. So this guy, we can select, my mouse is sticky, and then Control C to copy, and I can place that right into my Visual Studio Code, which is what I'm going to do as soon as I find my Python folder, which is going to be probably in my documents. And oh, there it is. And I don't have a week 3 yet, so I'll make a week 3. There's my week 3. Week 3. Now with Visual Studio Code, you've probably heard me say this a lot of times. Visual Studio Code works better if you open the folder. I like to right click, show more options, open the folder with code. It kind of creates a temporary Python project. At this point, it doesn't matter. As we go forward and we hit function, we'll start using multiple files. Let's get that out of the way. I don't need any AI. All right, here I am. Several ways to make a new file. I'm going to use the new file button. And I'm going to call this temp converter.py. And the naming convention for Python is everything lowercase. Control V to paste, and now I have my to-do. So typically we want to just, it does not have to be complex. We'll just put in a, let's see, this is going from Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? Oh, we're doing both ways. Oh my goodness. We'll just call this a temperature converter. Boy, I made this one difficult, didn't I? That'll add Kelvin into it. Scientific temperatures. Temperature, that is spelled right, isn't it? Temperature. Okay. After you look at a word too many times, it looks weird. I don't know if you've ever had that happen. So it's good to give the user what's going on. Now at this point, I'm not getting input. I'm kind of setting up a little menu so they can type 1 or 2, right? So far, so good. So at this point, I want to get the menu choice from the user. And we have a couple ways we can do this. Of course, we need, what do we need to get input from the user?
Integer, open bracket, input. Quotation marks, and then the temperature that the user's input.
Not yet.
Oh,
We have to decide which calculation we're doing. Are we going to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius or Celsius to Fahrenheit? Now, when we get a 1 or a 2 as input, we can either convert it to an integer, but we're not multiplying with it, are we? So we don't have to convert it to an integer because Python can determine the difference between 1 or 2 without having it be an actual number. It can do it if it's text. So we don't have to do the integer. You could. I'm going to call this menu choice because this is the menu choice. We've decided we're going to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Say this first time around, we're going to type 1. Okay? So we're just going to take care of one thing to begin with. And then what Ignacio said earlier is, yes, the next thing we need is,
if else.
well,
Statement.
do we have the temperature?
No.
We could either get the temperature inside the thing, but whatever you type in doesn't matter. So we just want to find out Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit, then we want the number. So we'll just call this temperature. Now this one, we have to decide what kind of number do we want to convert it into. based on this, probably I'm going to do it as a float, aren't I? So I'll just do enter. Temperature, right? So my to-do isn't quite right, is it? Get menu choice and temperature. Yeah, sometimes when you plan things, it doesn't always work out like you plan, so you make modifications as you go. That's pretty normal. Things don't always work the first time around. So now I'll get the temperature from the user as a float. Oh, is that going to work? What did I do wrong there?
Or you need the in the input.
Yep. I forgot to put in the input and the extra little parentheses. So, yep. I would have found out that that was the error as soon as I ran it. So now we have the temperature choice. Oh. Well, does this code already in here? So we have two choices for the temperature, for the conversion. Either we have one or we have two. So does this line work as it is?
Yes,
Okay, so if I ran that, that's going to work.
No,
What's not quite right about it?
one of the brackets.
First school.
I don't have this is a variable name. I just generally said if the menu choice is this, but we need to match the variable name, right? Is it equal to 1? If it is, we're going to do Fahrenheit. If it's equal to 2, whoops, I did that wrong. And it still has to match the same variable. So when I was doing my to-dos, I was doing just regular words and I was making a note of the formula. Because when I'm doing a program, if there's a formula on the instructions, I almost always copy it into the code so I have something to look at as I'm converting the math formula into computer code. Well, we aren't to the point where we're converting math formulas yet, but we will. So far, so good. Now, this is your standard convert Fahrenheit to Celsius formula that you can find in 50,000 million places on the internet. So is this going to work? Well, it gives you the formula that you'll find everywhere on the internet. But what is wrong with it? How do we fix it for this particular program? What do you think there, Mr. We'll pick on Benjamin Hudson. What do you think? What is wrong with this picture? I had just words before this. I just said, okay, this is Fahrenheit to Celsius. How do we change this to match what's in our program? Caleb, Savannah, running out of people. Ignacio.
Change Fahrenheit to temperature.
Right.
Variable.
This is giving me my formula, right? But in this case, to make it match my program, I would do this. Correct?
Because what we're giving and putting into it, the equation comes.
So this, you might think of this as like the equation that I found in 100 places on the internet. There's temperature, there's Fahrenheit, Celsius. I can find that formula anywhere. And that's essentially what this is in words. But here, I needed to convert that formula into something that Python could understand and matches my variables that are coming into the program. So we'll do some math things like area of a circle, volume of a sphere, some of those basic geometry kind of things. So far, so good. So the same thing here. Want to tab it over. What is wrong with this?
You also have to have a float.
It is a float.
No, that's not right.
We don't have to have a float here because everything we're multiplying with, anytime you multiply anything in Python, it automatically is a float. These are already numbers. Result is
you also have to have a else, because if the
right here. I have an LF, I'm being specific. If the choice is 1 or the choice is 2. So I've got both conditions taken care of.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Never mind.
I could have done an else, but I have a reason for not doing an else yet. Which I don't know if that's in the assignment or not, but we're going to go there anyway. So anytime you multiply by any number in Python, even if it starts out to be an integer, you're doing float math. Meaning you're getting decimal places. So how do I change this guy? What do you think there? Who did I not? Ignacio, Francisco, I didn't ask you. What do I change here? What's wrong with this picture?
You match the variables,
Right, so what do I put in here to match the variable?
the Celsius that we've made. Like,
Good thought. This is converting whatever my temperature is that I've typed in to Celsius. So we're assuming this is Fahrenheit.
Hmm.
If it's Celsius, I'm still going to have the same variable, aren't I? There are other ways to do this. This is a fairly simple and elegant solution, meaning it doesn't have a lot of code. It works just fine, but it does require a little bit of what's called abstract thinking. I mean, you could do all your input in here, all your input in here, and say, I want Celsius, I want that, but this is going to work fine and has a lot less code. Now, when we're printing this out, we're going to specifically say, if they had typed in a 1, we're going to say 69 degrees Fahrenheit equals such and such Celsius. Well, there's not a really good way to do that without putting that display in each one separately, is there? Without getting unnecessarily complex. Unnecessarily complex just means that we did a bunch of stuff to solve something one way and it was much simpler just to do it this way. So are we repeating ourselves? Remember my dry says do not repeat yourself? No, we have different names of things. So it's not really repeating ourselves. We are displaying twice, but the displays are each different. So I'm just going to make this simple. I'm not going to do the whole F string thing. So our answer is, and we typically want to say so many degrees, which is what this is going to be. So this would be temperature, right? Temperature. Oh man. Fahrenheit is, and then we put in Celsius. Oops. S. Celsius. There. I mean, I'm not rounding anything off the F string, but you can figure that out. It's in one of your other programs. Will this work? What do you think?
yes.
Yeah, we'll find out. It probably will work. Sometimes things don't work and I'm like, oh, I've never seen that before. So if I want to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and my Fahrenheit is minus 40, I think it's 40 or 42 or something. Uh-oh, what happened? That's a good question. What
Oh,
happened?
we haven't printed out the results.
Oh, did I type 2? I thought I typed 1. Type 1, temperature is 12. Oh. Oh. I do have to put at least the F in there, don't I? I'm just not gonna put in the formatting. That's my problem. Oh, it's still not printing. Okay. Yes,
Is it because in the input you have a string or something like that? And
Exactly.
you're looking for.
exactly. If we're going to compare strings, we have to make it a string. Otherwise, we have to make it an int. Exactly, Benjamin. Thank you. There. Now we're comparing strings and strings, apples and apples. That's exactly what's going on. Good troubleshooting. Exactamente. 12 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 11 point whatever Celsius, which I'm guessing it is, you know. I just have to finish the program. What do you think? So far, so good? Is everybody understanding what's up here and could you come up with it on your own? Because I'm showing you a pattern, not a specific solution. Now, if I type in a 1 or a 2, I'm okay. But what if I type in a 3? What's going to happen?
I'm gonna break because there's no 3 option.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to quit the program. Or is it? Yeah. I could fix that up. And as I mentioned earlier, I could make this an else, yes. I just chose to do an LF just because that way it's very clear which one is which. Is either one fine? Yes, either one is fine. So far, so good. I think that's all the assignment does, doesn't it?
Is there supposed to be an else?
Oh, enter a temperature into Celsius. No, there doesn't have to be an else. Oh, I forgot to do this. So I did have separate prompts in each one, didn't I? Okay. That would be easy to fix, wouldn't it? If you did it this way, I'd be fine. I mean, if you did it the way I just did it, that's fine. There. Is that gonna work like that? You betcha. But what I could do to make it clearer, since we have separate inputs, is say Fahrenheit. And Celsius here, because the little sketch is part of my requirements, meaning what the customer wants me to build for them. And they want it to be like this. So you could think of this as like a mock-up. The customer says, this is what I want it to look like. And so now I'm getting closer, aren't I? I don't have quite all the verbiage in there yet, the same, but I'm getting closer. How do you do a degree symbol? It's right here. There's an entire website devoted to the degree symbol. That was the funniest thing, which is why I put it in here. You could copy and paste this one too, because that's a degree symbol. I just thought it was funny that there's actually, that's all this website does, is it has the degree symbol in it. You know, how to type the degree symbol, how to do it, and all these other things. So you do copy. I just find things that are like that funny.
That's on that website.
And then to put in the degree, like Celsius, you'd paste a little degree and then you put Celsius, or is there a space between them? I always forget which there is. Oops, I lost my page. How does it go? Let's see, there's a space, but I think there isn't a space on most of the weather sites, so that's up to you. But you notice I rounded it off to 2, which means we want to do the F-string formatting business. But now I have a degree symbol. It just makes your program look a little more spiffy, which is a technical term for cool.
Do you want it to where it has dot 11111, or do you want it to like round up?
That's the F-string formatting part where you're displaying only 2 characters. So if I wanted to display the answer, I would do a colon. Oh, I just moved my mouse. There. Is that it? No, it's 2, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. So colon means there's a formatting thingy coming up. Comma means if I have over 1,000, I want commas. Period means that I want to only show 2 decimal places. That is what that's a good question. That is what this displays. It shows 2 decimal places. So yes, we want to have it show 2 decimal places. If your printing and how yours looks isn't exactly like this, I don't care. But some of the stuff is specific. Like we want the little degree symbol. Do you have to use F and C, or can you use Fahrenheit and Celsius? Sure. Either way, if I finished up and did that down here, I'd have a perfectly functional program. That's pretty close. Fahrenheit to Celsius, let's see, -40. There. One of my students showed me that like 2 years ago, and I thought, boy, I am not a science geek. I didn't know that -40 Fahrenheit is the same as -40 Celsius. I had no idea. He was actually a pharmacist, but he had to have a lot of chemistry, in order to do pharmacy stuff. So I thought, well, that's a good way to test the conversion. Do I need to have 0 degrees C and Celsius? No, that's a bit redundant. That means I have extra stuff I really don't need. This is what we're used to seeing on websites when we see the weather. That kind of thing. So there's a process. Plan out what you're going to do. Sometimes you change it slightly as you go. When in doubt, draw pictures. Any
I've got a
questions?
question.
Go
Is
ahead.
there supposed to be one